Hello. Hi guys. In this lesson, we're going to do the installations necessary to use Java, friends. First, we'll get the IDE we need to be able to code. There are a lot of different options when it comes to IDEs. I specifically choose IntelliJ IDEA. We'll start coding with this and continue from there. Different IDEs can be preferred, but honestly, they're all the same and do the same job. Here, you could choose Eclipse, NetBeans, or Visual Studio Code. All of these will get the job done when coding in Java. If you ask me, the main tool that's widely used in the industry and that I want you to get familiar with is actually IntelliJ IDEA. It has two versions, friends. One is Ultimate and the other is Community Edition. Ultimate is paid. If you're a student, you can get it for free with your student email address. If you're not a student but still want to code, get the community version. Is there a big difference between them? Well, while we're doing our Java training, there won't be any difference between these two. So, there's absolutely no problem using the community version. You won't have any issues while developing applications either. That's why you can choose this one. You need to pick the one that suits you here. If you're using Windows, download the exe for Windows. If you're on Mac OS, just choose and download the version for either Apple or Intel chipset, whichever you have, and that'll be enough, friends. After downloading it, you just install it. It's simple, really. You just keep clicking Next, Next, and you're done. So, there's no need to dwell on this any further. This was the first thing we needed, friends. The second part is this, friends. Java JDK, guys. Java JDK stands for Java Development Kit. From here you go to Java Download. Look here, there are 21 different versions. I use 21. You can choose either 21 or 23. It makes no difference to us. The one I'm using right now is 21. For the 21 version, you now need to set it up according to what you need. Linux, Mac, Windows. For Windows, this is the section you need to select here. For Mac, it's here for Intel chipsets, and for Apple chipsets, it's these. Whichever one you need. For Apple, you download and install this one for Apple chipsets. And for those with Intel chipsets, you download and install this one. There's no need to spend extra time on these. If you're going to be a developer, you should already be able to do these things. If you can't even install something this simple, then maybe you shouldn't even start with software development. Alright, assuming we've installed and sorted all that out, we're going to open the application, friends. When you first open IntelliJ IDEA, you'll see a screen like this. On this screen, the configs are down here on the bottom left, friends. You can click here and change the general settings from this menu. We'll get to which of these we change and what we look at over time. Now, what we're going to do is click on New Project here and open a new project. This is the project screen, friends. We'll continue from here. Now, you select Java here. Java. Here, you need to give your project a name. I'm calling it J001 entry. You select the location from here, wherever you want to save it. I'm going to select this spot, friends. J01 entry. Now, there's a build system here. We have different options here. Here, you select Gradle. We'll talk about these later as well, so we'll discuss some of these parameters here at a later time. Now, you'll see the JDK here. The JDK you installed will appear here, friends. I have a bunch of JDKs installed. You'll see just one. If you've installed or tried it before, you might see more than one. That's normal. Here, the available version is 21. If you've installed 23, you'll see 23. Here, the Gradle DSL will remain as Groovy. Other than that, there's an Add Sample Code option here. If this is checked, uncheck it. After that, you don't really mess with the configs here too much. If there's something in the group ID here, you can select it. But since you didn't select Add Sample Code here, what's written here doesn't really matter much. So when we uncheck this, these configs don't matter at all. Why are these even here, sir? Well, these are just sample code. When you create a ready-made code entry page, like when you create a Start Java or Main Java, it uses a package name and artifact ID here if you select it. But since we didn't select it, there's no problem. Now I'm clicking Create here, and my first project will open. Guys. Yes. It's ready now. It might take a little while for it to get ready like this. If you're opening it for the first time, it might take a little while, but that's not a problem. It'll get better later. After waiting a bit, as you can see, our page has opened. Now here, this is the package structure, and you can see the page. There's something I want you to do here. We'll do it together. We can open this up a bit more here. Right here, right-click on Java and select New Java class. I explained this in our first lesson. I said, this thing we call a Java class is basically a simple text file. Yeah, so when we click like this, as you can see, a screen opens up for us here. Here, while class is selected, I'm going to write this here. com.muhammed.capital_runner. Look, that's it. After I type this and hit enter, look here, under Java, something called com.muhammed appears, and under that, runner appears. Then, on this screen, something like public class runner opened up. Let me make this a bit bigger so you can see. I'm hitting enter here. I'm going to use a shortcut. Look, now there's a shortcut called PSVM. You type it like this. When you press the enter key, it completes the rest of the code. This is one of the live code snippets that IntelliJ IDEA provides us. With this, I created it, I prepared my code, friends. After that, I'm going to write one more line of code. I'm typing S out. Then I press enter again. Again, it did a code completion like this. Then double quotes. What did it say here? Let's say hello world 2. Classic, for those just starting to code. Now, for those who are just starting out in this area, those who are seeing these things for the first time while coding in Java, you might be wondering if there are a lot of things here and whether you'll be able to learn all of them. Friends, there are a lot of codes you see here, but none of them are important for you. Are you going to learn all of them? So, the main part you need to learn here is this. Build Gradle. The others are not important at all right now, and they won't be very important later on either. Maybe much later. The important part for you here is this, the SRC section. In other words, the source part of our code. Here, there's main, and there's Java. Up to this point, everything comes automatically anyway. This is the area where you'll write your code. Inside this, there are Java, resources, and the com Muhammed I wrote here. We're going to talk about all of these one by one. These are called packages. They're called packages. Guys, look, it even says package right here. This is called a package. Inside this, there's also a class, a Java class. So, there are some things here. There's public, class, runner, public, static, void, and main. We're going to talk about all of these one by one. I'll explain each of them separately in different lessons. What is public? Are there different types of it? What is a class? Are there different types of it? What is void? Are there different uses and types of it? We'll talk about all of them. We'll discuss each one in separate lessons, so don't worry. We'll go step by step, nice and easy. If you don't do it this way, they'll just pile everything on you. Usually, in universities or other courses, they just go, this is this, this is that, this is this, this is that. Then the student thinks, I can't do this, but it's not that you can't do it, you're just not being taught with the right technique and method. What's the point of explaining everything all at once anyway? Just use them one by one, see the output for each. Step by step, you'll end up learning everything anyway. So, what are we doing now? We've done the setup, now we're learning how to run the application. We'll go step by step and learn everything along the way. Now, after we've sorted this out, we have some code that we've written. Just 2 lines, or actually, just a single line. We're going to see how this works. So, how can you run this? Look, there's already a play button here. You just click on it. See, there's something here called run. Teacher, what are these? We'll get to those later as well. They're completely different things. We'll talk about them, but the one we'll use is run. I clicked it, look, it's going to print hello world here. What we wrote above, so that's it, guys. This is our output, that's all. Don't worry about any of the other code. That's the first method. Second method. While I'm here, I right-click. I select run. That runs it the same way. Anything else? Again, while I'm here, in this class, I come over here. From here, I select run. Again, it runs the same way, guys. Alright, as you can see, our code has run, guys. That was our first task. First, install the program, write a line of code, and run it. We'll talk about all the other details. I'll explain what it is and what it's used for, guys. Alright, that's it for now. See you in the next lesson.